Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Okay, noticing that when using the blue key, his attitude changes closer to a normal Rasa. Maybe if I change the color keys, he will get a different attitude.
Ah! Baby, I know I agreed to doing these videos, but please don't put it on me while I'm in the bathroom. That's embarrassing. Okay, time to... What the... This is a new key.
Just use it.
Okay. Handshake. What the hell? A purple t-shirt? Baby, I can literally go into my damn closet and pull one out. Especially one that looks better looking than this crap.
Well, this is new.
What the hell are you talking about?
You're going to be reviewing She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
Fine. Watch this show.
Rasa, why are you watching a dumpster fire?
Because it's more entertaining than watching She-Hulk.
Get to work!
Fine. She-Hulk is the latest TV show that was released on Disney Plus and is the embodiment of the online joke, the MCU. This is a 9-episode series that wants to be a superhero show, a court show, and a comedy.
Anyone with a brain can point out the flaws in this one, even this moron.
Hey! From the first episode, you notice they did a lot of changes from the original origin story, and it had more of an impact. With this, it's just a random spaceship appears out of nowhere, accidentally getting Jessica and Bruce into a car accident. While Jessica's getting her cousin out, she gets Bruce's blood into her bloodstream and gives her the power of She-Hulk. Though before we see them explaining what happened, we get a scene which the writers demand to keep this in for sisterly unity. The restroom scene. Okay. I asked my sister about this scenario, and she sent me a text message, and I'm going to read what her thoughts was on that scenario. And she put down, "Why the hell are you asking me this stupid question?" And then she put down, "Logically speaking, we only pay attention to our girlfriend group. If another female walks into the bathroom and she looks like she's injured, the most we'll do, it will be trying to reassure her, calm her down, while another one will be calling the police about this situation. We wouldn't be putting makeup on her, as that's basically covering up the equivalency of a crime scene. And also, sending her back out, that is literally saying, yeah, we're going to let her die." So there's your response from an actual female with common sense. Oh, she let me send me another message. "If you text me again with another dumb question, I am going to... Oh dear God. You didn't have to send me an image of what with a reenactment with a turkey. Okay, I'm not gonna bother her again.
Keep her on standby.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be spending months going on an ever-ending journey to find my pancreas. I like where it's at." We get a short montage of Jessica being trained by Bruce to learn how to use her powers, and we also get the most infamous scene of the first episode. I have seen so many people tear this scene apart in so many ways that, for my opinion, is Jessica, shut up. This is episode 1. It's not justified for this speech. While Jessica is trying to keep her powers in check, it goes belly up when a supervillain Titania pops up from another courtroom to escape a traffic ticket, I think it was again. It was something really pointless. And because of the whole fighting thing, Jen reveals that she's a superhero with big quotations and one punches Titania to stop it. But because of that, Jessica lost her job. And in that same episode, she gets hired by a rival company to work for them as they're going to be doing cases that involve superpowered individuals. And our first case is with Abomination's parole. And there are some issues as there's actual footage of him fighting with Wong that they used in Shang-Chi. I just summed up 2 episodes that fast, and that's one of the issues. You can actually sum up the episodes like this. Episode 3, she's waiting for Wong to show up to help with her case while her associate is dealing with a catfishing case. Episode 4, Wong hires her for a cease and desist on a failed student who's using magic illegally, while Jessica is on Tinder. Jessica gets sued for copyright claim on her name She-Hulk, while the B story is them looking for an outfit for Jessica to wear. Episode 6, Jessica goes to a wedding and meets someone while her associates are dealing with a superhero divorce. Episode 7, Jessica goes to therapy because she got ghosted. Episode 8, Jessica meets Daredevil and we finally get a plot. Episode 9, shoving background setup into a 30-minute pile of what the hell am I looking at? This had 8 writers for 9 episodes. Consistency was not known. An example was a side character named Pug, and he had 3 different characters because the plot demanded.
Oh, hi, I'm here to give you a welcome goodie basket to help you enjoy yourself in our committee. Yeah, I'll take the case. I understand the situation, and it kind of feels awkward trying to do the whole bro thing when I'm trying to be nice to all my female colleagues. Hey, I need to get you a new pair of shoes, but I need another person to come with me. I need one to rock and one to stock. They are literally having no idea of what to do with a male character that's not an a-hole.
Okay, what about our lead's personality?
What character?
She has a personality.
Okay, describe anything about She-Hulk as a personality that does not involve her job, her superpowers, her love life, or her drinking. I'm waiting.
In the original stories, Jen is supposed to be more of a wallflower character who would be sitting in the background or like a shy individual. And when she turns into She-Hulk, it's like a massive confidence booster as she takes center stage. But because of the writing, Jessica and She-Hulk, there's not that much difference except height and she's green. The only other character you should be worrying about from the original group is Nikki. And all she is Jessica's hype girl. Jessica is supposed to be the lawyer and doing all the work, but throughout the whole series, Nikki is doing all the work. She's a paralegal, and she's doing more of a lawyer job than Jessica ever has done throughout the whole series. Jessica doesn't even know anything about the whole law situations or cases or anything of that makes her a lawyer. Any other character I mention is pointless, and the villain, ugh.
Let me guess. Emil Blonsky, aka Abomination. They set him up in the beginning, and he's going to be used later on in other Marvel projects.
No, BB, that would have been a clever idea and good setup for future Marvel's ideas. But he is nothing more than a motivational speaker for men, and he's also a therapist helping out other villains, including Jessica. So try again.
What about the Wrecking Crew? A small-scale villain group could...
No, baby, that would have been clever. They only tried it out on episode 3, failed, one of them decided to disband, go to therapy under Abomination, and is now buddy-buddy with Jessica. So that's strike 2. Try again.
Okay, Titania was set up to be the big bad in the trailers.
Again, BB, that would have been clever and good, but no, she is not the villain. Though it would make sense that she would be She-Hulk's villain. All she does is after their defeat in the courtroom, she decided to claim copyright ownership over the name She-Hulk as she is an influencer and it would make sense to do a whole makeup brand under it. But then after that failed, she decided to plan everything out to crash a wedding. Found out who was getting married, date a guy, and everyone's thought would have been she would have been making Jessica look like the villain and just trying to destroy this wedding. But all she did was just wait till Jessica get drunk and then sucker punched her. And her vendetta with She-Hulk is because she stopped her from running away from a fine in the first episode. Because She-Hulk is more popular, even though that does not make a lick of sense, because She-Hulk is more trying to go for a low profile. Because
the plot demanded it.
if it's that the answer, they really need to get back to the writing circle.
If it's not these three, then who's the villain?
The villain's name is Todd Phelps.
Who?
Yeah, this weird rich guy who appeared in episode 4 during She-Hulk's Tinder matching. You kind of forget about him because he was in a montage. He appeared again in episode 5, being a client for the law office she works for. And again in episode 8 while he was trying to get a date with She-Hulk again. He is also the creator of Intelligentsia, a Reddit 4chan fusion where all it is nothing more than just a bunch of people hating on She-Hulk for no real reason. He was also the one who hired the Wrecking Crew to try to get Jessica's blood, and when that failed, after that failed, he hired an actor to infiltrate a wedding that Jessica was going to, the same idea that Titania was doing for some weird reason. Got him to date Jessica for a while until he got the blood from her, hacked her phone, and then ghosted her. And his plans was to interrupt her at a Female Lawyer of the Year awards wearing some weird knockoff Doomcock mask just so he could dox her and use a PG-13 sex tape to get her enraged and arrested. And then using the blood of her, make a synthetic serum so he can become a Hulk, as he believed this power belongs to people who should deserve it.
What?
Yeah, Todd's supposed to be the embodiment of toxic masculinity, cancel culture, and internet criticism as a means to say, take that to the haters.
Why would they do that?
I think it's more of a preemptive strike the critics, so when the critics will come to attack them, Marvel's true fans will come to defend them.
That is a stupid idea.
Yeah, it doesn't help, especially since most of the story is not about Jessica embracing being a superhero and more about Jessica's love life more than anything. And with the ending, I'm going to put that in another category.
So it fails as a superhero show. What about a courtroom show?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, the writers admit during an interview while the show was coming out, they have no clue how to write courtroom shows, and it is literally showing. While episode 1, it was more of an ending closing speech. And the other episode, it was either settled outside of court, or when it is in the actual courtroom, it is basically just two giant kids pointing to each other, blaming the other one, while their mother is just standing in the middle, just thinking, okay, which one's in the right? Yeah, I know there are different types of lawyers for different types of cases and everything. But even Jessica, who was a high-ranking DA in her previous job, didn't even know the basics of copyright claims. And episode 8 shown that she had no clue anything about the lawyer work because she literally had no info on what her client did and anything he didn't say. And that another lawyer, Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, was basically circling around her in a law show. And for once, the writers did not think, maybe we should hire someone who actually did courtroom shows. This would actually help.
Okay, so it didn't work as a courtroom show and it didn't work as a superhero show. But if it's funny, a lot of people will forgive it. So, Rasa, was it funny?
What comedy They try to use cringe humor on Jessica, which falls flat. It's supposed to make me feel sorry for her, but she is so unlikable and narcissistic that it fails horribly. It is supposed to knock down men just to raise females up. They also had this male douchebag that they made for the first 3 episodes deal with a case where he got catfished by an elf disguising herself as Megan Thee Stallion. And for that, then, they only used her just so they could have She-Hulk twerking with her. And my only thoughts when that scene was, I pity the animator who had to do that, and I hope they got a better job after this and not to put this on their resume. They make fun of that guy, and yet Jessica does the exact same thing the next episode. Hypocrisy much?
Did you laugh?
That's the funny part. My humor is broken. I can laugh at a lot of things. Clever humor, dry humor, cringe humor. Heck, I'll even laugh at random humor. And out of the 9 episodes, I only laughed once. Episode 6, the scene with Mr. Immortal, the man who cannot die. And he killed himself instead of dealing with the confrontation with Nikki and Mallory, another lawyer, as they were discussing loud enough that it could be considered arguing. Mr. Immortal jumped out of a glass window, and Mr. Immortal, throughout that whole confrontation, decided to jump through a window, landing on a car. And I thought the whole episode was going to be about him just constantly killing himself because he doesn't like dealing with confrontation. But they only used that joke once. It would have worked, and they wasted it. And the fourth wall breaking does not make a lick of sense.
But She-Hulk was able to break the fourth wall a lot in the comics.
You're right, but since it's focusing on the MCU, it has to make sense. This is a new introduction to her, so it needs to make sense how she could break the fourth wall in this TV show. Let's use a good example of a fourth wall breaking character. Deadpool. Deadpool acquired his powers due to massive experiments done onto his body, which made him a little bit crazy, but gives him the awareness to see the fourth wall. From an outsider's perspective, it looks more like they're just talking to themselves and they're just saying, okay, he's a little crazy, but he can get the job done. Besides, most of the fourth wall awareness Jessica does is just stares at a camera and just start complaining like the Dear Diary. It's not fully revealed of the fourth wall awareness until we get to the final part of episode 9.
Maybe the car crash gave her the awareness.
That would have been clever. And the last episode had a massive reenactment of the 70s Hulk, which was all a dream, and then the final showdown with the Todd Hulk out, Abomination in monster form breaking parole, Titania bursting in for no apparent reason, and Hulk dropping out of the sky over a misunderstanding, ending with the Disney Plus menu screen slapping it on, ending the episode, and She-Hulk breaks through her icon and goes to the Marvel Studios icon, where she's actually in our world. And she has a word with the writers, complaining about this story and what the hell's going on. If I was there, I would have had a different idea.
And nothing of value was lost.
It is discovered that this was all set up by Kevin, the head creator of Marvel, who she tries to confront and discovers that Kevin is a robot, an algorithmic machine that literally decides how the stories play out. She decides to change the ending, remove the Hulk blood, remove Hulk and states just use him for a movie to bring him back, change it today, and bring back Daredevil because a woman has needs. Lady, you have been hunting out for men for 9 episodes. Do I need to get the bat? So yeah, just cuts to daytime, the police showing up, arresting Todd, taking in Bronski. Hypocrite, you broke your parole too. Titania recording the whole thing, I don't know why she's still here. And Daredevil showing up out of the middle of nowhere to try to help, but she just says, come with me to a family barbecue. And Bruce shows up with his teenage son. It ends with She-Hulk taking Todd to court, and the after credits, Wong appearing to kidnap Bronski again for more cameos in the future. And that was She-Hulk Attorney at Law. What a train wreck. It's a superhero Hollywood comedy that fails in all 3 areas. And the only point just to show that they have Daredevil and Hulk's son that's going to be appearing in the future of the MCU. With having no idea what they're doing, especially that Marvel hired a bunch of toxic writers who spent their time taking their anger out on YouTubers, critics, and anyone that associates with online culture.
Hey, BB, you wonder why I kept saying Jessica when the character's name is Jen?
Because you were being stupid and I was going to tell you to do it over again.
Well, the whole studio group decided to be stupid and spill the beans to everyone, questioning, why was this a train wreck? And the head writer basically admitted that during the scene when She-Hulk was arguing with Kevin was actually the embodiment of what she was arguing with the real Kevin. It basically revealed this is a self-insert character of herself. That is why I never called her Jen. She is the head writer, Jessica Gao. And it leads to the question, who was this made for? Okay, so if it was not meant for the trolls, it's supposed to flip them off. Who was it meant for? It was supposed to be meant for the Marvel fans. But as I stated, it was not meant for men, aka for what I see it as trolls. So that just leaves the females. For how they treated all the female characters in this show, more catty than anything. So that means let's focus on the character. She's a upper class woman in her 30s who has a job, no relationship, and drinks. So it's basically coastal millennial women who just drink alcohol. This is nothing more than $1 million self-insert fan fiction.
Do you want to know the salt to the wound, Rasa?
It gets worse.
She stated in an interview that she deliberately did this as her way of trolling the toxic trolls. As she stated, she is also a little bit of a troll herself.
This was deliberate. She irritated a whole fan base for a troll move. Disney allowed this. They wanted a comedy show, and they picked a head writer for this, whose only source of comedy that we know of is an overused meme for a goddamn pickle! And you wanna know what makes matters worse?
And that's a superhero legal comedy can work. Marvel shows that their heroes are normal people and they have normal problems. And sometimes legal tape can cause a lot of problems. This show has potential to be great. It could have even been used to show obscure heroes and villains and show them as they are in the comic books. Give them their 15 minutes of fame, as I know not all of them is going to be put in movies. And hopefully instead of not being punchlines. Heck, Daredevil was the only Marvel character who walked away with barely any damage, and that's only because Marvel's working on a Daredevil show, and Mickey would have executed them for ruining their next phase character. And with Marvel introducing the concept of different timelines, Marvel can retcon this whole show if it ever got a season 2. Heck, they even admit this season was a throwaway, as the writer stated in episode 9, they were going to do the whole "it was all a dream" crap. Phase 4 of Marvel has not been doing that well, and with another failure, especially with a character that a lot of people wanted to see, I have no clue how Marvel going to handle this string of failures. Maybe Wakanda Forever will give Marvel its groove back. So, where did they put the time and reality stone again?
Okay, I'm done. Let's end. BB, why is the screen cut in half?
You summoned a sword and cut it in half.
Wait, I summoned a sword?
Just finish it. Just finish it.
Fine. Well, that was a dud. I hope the next thing you give me is not going to be that much painful.
Okay, now we know what the purple key can do, so we could...
I feel like I said things I shouldn't have said. I'm going to go sit in a corner and think about everything I just said. Okay?
Well, this is interesting. Hopefully this Ross will do better than the previous ones.